channel. No, it started as a YouTube channel, but I've also built up a community of the same name. It is on the school.com platform. So this is for anyone who is out there interested in manifestation, spiritual awakening, you're interested to change and improve your life, you're interested to bring certain things into your reality from what is currently still buried in the depths of your head or in your soul, then you are most welcome in my community, Inspire and Random. Now, in today's topic, all right, this is a very passionate topic for me, and I wish to address this here because, like, anyone watching this video, if you came in to watch this video because of the topic, then probably you may have encountered a situation just like this as well. You may have encountered people who have looked upon you and says, well, you failed in the past. What makes you think you can succeed? Or you failed so many times at this already. So in this video, and by the way, hello if you just logged in, and just comment below where you're watching this from. I'd love to hear where my audiences are at. So this topic, right? Like, this is something that I've been living with. It's kind of like a Asian thing, especially. If you watched it on TikTok, you may have come across Stephen He, or Stephen He, right? He does this failure management thing, failure management, and this Asian parent syndrome. So, coming from an Asian family living in Asia, I have suffered a lot of this, like most other Asians. But I wish to empower you today in this video, and I want to tell you why exactly, right? Even though I want to give you a boost of your confidence. I want to give you, I want you to recognize that you know you're not going to fail. Perhaps everyone around you is reminding you why you're going to fail this time too, just like all the other times. But you know that that's not going to be the case. You know that you've done something differently than you have in the past. You see this on a lot of trading track performances. If you try to join a mutual fund, if you try to join, let's say, any investment opportunity, you look at the past performance, right? But it's always going to be the fine print that says past performance does not dictate future results. And the same goes for you as well. Maybe it could be a business that you've been trying to launch, and maybe you tried to launch and relaunch a couple of times, but it never really took off. It could be a fitness regime that you've been trying to initiate several times. Maybe you wanted to lose some weight, or maybe you wanted to save some money. You wanted to invest in something. There could have been something that you've been embarking on in the past that after a couple of tries and occasions, it didn't really get the result that you wanted. And maybe you felt discouraged. People around you are concerned for you, and they say, oh, just beware of failure. You've already failed so many other times, and this this might not be good. Why don't you look at something else? First and foremost, right? Because in my channel, I talk about manifestation. I talk about law of attraction. So I want to basically relate this topic into law of attraction, law of attraction principles. And if that is the case, if everything existed at a frequency, right, then we have to raise the frequency that we're at to the level of the result that we want to have. And if we are raising ourselves to a higher frequency, then therefore, like, if we get a certain feedback that, oh, you already failed like a couple of times in the past, what's going to be different? So instead of seeing these feedbacks as a discouragement, right, a person of a higher frequency, you could perhaps see these feedbacks as a matter of concern. And earlier in this video, I did also talk about result. Yes. I talked about Asian families and how they're so result focused. They're so, they're and this whole theme of failure management, right? That Stephen He loves to talk about in his videos, and it's totally true. It's totally prevalent. Um, but if you begin to look at it as like they care, they say this because they care, and you know this because um, ultimately, which Asian parent doesn't want their kids to do well? And as much as they can seem very harsh and sarcastic on the exterior, but they really do mean the best for you. They don't want to see you fail again and again. So if you take all these things into account, right? All these people that are apparently your critics support you. And even if it wasn't the case, uh, yeah, low carbs, high protein diet, yes. Kind of leaning towards carnivore, kind of, but I still do get a fix of vegetables. Yeah, anyways, so even if it wasn't the case, you could set yourself like to be in some kind of a delusional state. I wouldn't say, I mean, delusional here is kind of a tricky word, but I would rather say that be self-confident, be self-assured, and just choose to believe that these people who are saying things against you are actually rooting for you. And if that is the case, then everyone's rooting for me. Then all the more I should succeed. But okay, this is just the point of belief, right? Oh yes, I do work out quite a bit. I was like fat before, and no way ever I'm getting back to what it was. Yeah. So, uh, like even after a buffet, my six pack is still clear. You know. Anyways, um, I was just talking about the point of belief. Now let's talk about the point of actions. It's important to have that bulletproof mindset if you want to achieve anything great. But other than the bulletproof mindset, you also need to have, the actions and the, you know, the 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 process of going about the goals that you wish to do. For example, um, if you keep doing things the way that you did in the past, you're definitely gonna fail, right? But you know that you're not gonna do it the same way as you did in the past. You're gonna do it differently. So as much as people can tell you, oh, you're gonna fail again, don't do it again. What makes you think you're gonna succeed this time? You failed so much in the past. And when I say this, I'm reaching out to all those out here watching this video. You could be athletes, you could be doing a startup company, you could be a new entrepreneur, but whichever the case may be, right? I wish to. Yes, you can. um, I wish to basically inform you that whichever the case may be, what you need, if you do things the same way, same same inputs, same outputs. But if you change the inputs, the outputs can change too. And if you're only getting certain result with certain efforts, and if this is the result that you're aiming for, let's change up those results, test it, adjust it, and tweak it so that you can actually get the result that you want. And for example, let's look at the recent elections. Like it or hate it, Donald Trump, he won the US presidency. So there are different factions of people that, are against it or for it, whatever. And you may comment below, what do you think of the result? In my idea, in my opinion, well, it really was quite a hard toss up because I don't think either of them, both of them have quite a bit of things going against them and for them as well. So it would be really, really hard for me to pick. And thank God I didn't have to pick between the two because I would rather have just not voted. But anyways, let's look at how Bitcoin hit an all-time high ever since the elections result. And it was actually not too much of a surprise as well, because Donald Trump, he was quoted, in talking about how he plans to do about the depth, right? The depths of the country, the trillions of debt, and then he casually mentioned this thing, Bitcoin or crypto, and he did not carelessly do this. Although he casually said it, but this guy is a marketing genius. He has other things behind it, and he, as we all know, he's also been hanging out with Elon Musk. So he has seen and analyzed how Elon Musk has started so many bull runs in Doge specifically. So that I would think it's actually a very calculated move that he, like in all his other very eloquent speeches that are noteworthy in the past, he found a critical moment where you could bring up this topic of crypto and Bitcoin, and as a result, it's at an all-time high. Now, why did I bring this out? Okay, because like there could be people who are trading, and in particular trading cryptocurrency, uh, right around this period, and there were people, and just before the election result, just like many things, it was going in a range. So a lot of people, who got in at the right time just after the elections. There was a period of time where we don't know it was going to be, a big move to the top side or to the bottom, but for anyone who have profited in from this huge Bitcoin all-time high move from where it was just at, like maybe 10 days, not 10 days, like a week ago, um, the key word is here is to pivot. So if you have been, if you have not been in the market at a point of time, they pivoted correctly to pick the upward direction. And if people were generally bearish, and shorting the market would have been a very good approach up to a very recent time. But if anyone who has been shorting the market, they identified this 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 cue that this could happen. All right, because Elon Musk is pro crypto, Donald Trump did give that hint, and anyone who pivoted from short selling to buying, they would have made it. So the same goes for your hopes, dreams, careers, the things that you want to accomplish. Um, like up to this point, yeah, sure, maybe you failed a couple of times. Maybe you've screwed up in various things in the past. But knowing what you know from those failures and choosing it to do differently, that is your way of pivoting. So the belief is important. Like in the beginning of this video, I mentioned that when people are speaking shit against you, but if you just taught your mind to take it as though people are trying to discourage you because they don't want you to see you fail further, and they actually care about you, and then suddenly this becomes a motivation. And I talked about Asian parents, like how they tend to just try to protect their kids and shield their kids. So for me, my emotional compass throughout the years has to a very great extent been like this, right? Because I have like the most negative mom, typical very negative Asian parent mom, and I always thought that if I did not have a mom like that, I would not be the way I am, because like I've always been very nonconformist, and I stopped to realize that if I had just conformed, right? If I had conformed and did as told, wow, I would be a lemming with no soul and no life, and yeah, life would be so unsatisfying. So I use my mom as a emotional checklist, like, and or like a personal life checklist. If I am doing things in her way, that means something is wrong and I'm not living to my best self. So I told myself, as soon as I realized this, right? as if I want to keep pushing the boundaries, I need to be the polar opposite of what she thinks. Polar opposite. So I hope this message speaks to you know, you guys out there watching this video. And well, I really appreciate the chat responses. I, I choose to believe that this is expressing your appreciation in your own way. And I want to basically remind you that um, like, you know, just be yourself, and also um, respect, you know, your intuitions, how you feel about things. Like, you want to consciously do whatever that you wish to accomplish. Do it very consciously, conscious of all the responses that you get. Say if you're working on improving a skill, consciously look at the feedbacks, right? So if there was, look out for ways that you can measure your progress. For most things, video analysis is a very good way to analyze. Like when I picked up different sports, I always uh, specifically put out recording. It could be my smartphone, it could be an action camera, and I could study my movements and compare them to the pros. Because if anyone else has succeeded in a certain thing that we want to do, that is proof that it can be done. So the only thing that remains is to see what is different between the ways that we're doing things versus the way that they are doing things. Take note of all those changes, and sometimes even when the differences may not be so apparent, but let's say, you know, how can we try to trans-identify with the person who is successful at this business, this sport, um, this startup, whatever thing that you're trying to launch, whatever thing you've been trying to work, you've been working on, but not getting the results that you want. So try to refer and embody a person that you really respect who is doing great results in this field. And for me, one example could be like in table tennis, the person that I'm trying to embody right now is Truls Morgard from Sweden. Like I look at a lot of his matches, I look at the way he plays, and I compare him to my videos. I try to see like what's he doing that I'm what I'm not doing. And when I play the games, I try to put myself in psyche. When I how I do that is that when I watch his matches, I try to close my eyes and visualize like if I was looking at the table holding his bat, you know, how would I see his match from his eyes, even though I'm watching it as a spectator? And the same thing can be done with a business, a project, or your fitness training, like whoever inspires you at any point of time. Like, you know, and if it is something that you're working on that there is no direct role model, maybe, and by the way, if there's no direct role model for something that you're working on, you know, congratulations, you're an innovator. You are in the same league of the people who are crazy enough to make the curved screen a reality. The folding phone. Nowadays, like the two folding phone that folds out to be like a freaking tablet, right? So you're in a different league, and maybe what you can do in this respect, if there's no apparent so-called idol or leader or role model, then like think about who are some people out there in this existence that could help me attain this result. It could be a panel of people, all right, a panel of people, and basically just keep these different consciousness in your mind. And let's say that if these people just try to think from their perspectives and let what is known in manifestation, we call it the inspired actions, the inspired thoughts, the inspired actions. What would these people have to advise you? Or if these people were around me, what would they advise me to do? So let's say I'm doing this, and this is not getting the result. Well, if these people were around, uh, if I could think like them, I might want to do it this way instead, right? And in that way, I mean, if you are constantly looking for ways to succeed, how can you possibly fail? It's only if you're doing it the same way, same style, same lack of motivation. Um, you just and I mean, if you're making a system of failing, then you will definitely fail. But if you are making a self-correcting, self-improving, intelligence, and the best part is, this is an actual intelligence because you are an actual intelligence. You are actual consciousness. You are not artificial. And if ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, can learn and model so much, why not you? Because if anything at all, you have your soul, and that's something the machines do not have. So this is what I wanted. This is a message I wanted to give you today, and I hope I mean to just run with these ideas. I wanted to empower you from all these put you downers that could be surrounding you, and just pivot. All right. First, it all begins in how we perceive the messages that people are telling us. Perceive it in a good way. And secondly, um, you want to be able to um, pivot. If something's not working, fix it. If there are things that could make the current activity better, then include those things too. And try to include any possible inspiration and think from the perspectives of people that have done well in this thing that you're doing and compare that to your own actions. Incorporate various aspects into your mix, your success mix. And what's not working, just weed them out and put in things that would work. And if you're working on something that's totally new, like just imagine like who is a dream team, who would be on a dream team that you would love to have. It could be top entrepreneurs, it could be famous athletes, famous coaches, whatever. All right, just assemble this dream team in your mind and understand it really well. And obviously, you do know about these people that you've assembled to be in this mental dream team that's up here, and be open to receive messages and inspirations and incorporate them into your actions. I wish you success. Bye.